Do you know that we are the first generation in history that will probably not only live shorter and in worse condition than our parents, but will also be dumber than them? IQ drops by almost 7 points every generation, and mental problems touch 1 out of every 8 teenagers. And yet, we have increasingly clever tools. ChatGPT-4 has an IQ of 155, and experts say that it will probably have an IQ of over 1 to 2,000. So if things go on like that, in the couple of months or years, we'll have managers with an IQ of 80 to 90, using a machine that is 20 times more intelligent than them. Doesn't that worry you? Because it terrifies me. Because if things go on like that, my children and your grandchildren will have an IQ of a cat or a closet. And a cat won't get along with an algorithm that has almost godly capabilities. But why is that we the knowledge of the entire earth at the touch of a button, and with the most and with the best tools in our history, such as AI, we are not developing but revolving?
I think when we asking ourselves why it's happened, we come to the conclusion that one of the main reasons is because of our education system. Our education system has hardly changed since Industrial Revolution, and this time this one was designed just to do the two things. One, to teach us how to push the button, and second, how to repeat and repeat again the same behavior, the same things.
But sadly, it didn't start in the 18th century. Our education system hasn't practically changed since the Middle Ages. The relation between teacher and a student stayed the same. The classrooms look practically the same, and even the core of education practically hasn't changed. It was math, reading, writing, history, and religion. And do you really think that in the past couple hundred of years nothing has changed? Because we can say that it looks like you don't think that anything has changed by just looking at our education system. It's not like nothing has changed because you added a few new subjects. We stopped writing on wax tablets and started writing on computers. You also made school free in almost every country, and practically anywhere you can get education. But practically the biggest change in the past few hundred years is that you no longer can hit us. And it's extremely new, because only from 2001 in Poland, we are no longer getting hit in school. Please hear that clearly. 6 years after you decided that teaching us might not be the best teaching method, Steve Jobs came and gave us Word in our pocket, and you gave it to us. You opened Pandora box for us. You gave us all of the knowledge in the world, but you didn't teach us how to use it. You didn't teach us what not to do and to do. It's a little bit like giving a chimpanzee hand grenade and hoping that it won't learn how to pull the pin. Spoiler alert, the chimpanzee learned how to pull the pin. And what happened? Since 2007, the time that you gave us phones, the suicides rate in Poland has increased by 47%. Cyberbullying touches 1 out of every 6 teenagers. And our attention span is a little bit over 8 seconds. Just a reminder, attention span of a goldfish is 10 seconds. And it's mostly your fault that you didn't take responsibility for the tools that you've created. You're too scared to teach us what to do and not to do because it was too new for you. And now you gave us nuclear weapon, an AI, something much more dangerous than iPhone internet and a hand grenade combined. And I'm asking you, a child, and asking you, adults, parents, mentors and teachers, why in school you're saying that one of the most important lessons from school is learning from our own mistakes and mistakes from our ancestors? So why can't you learn from your mistakes? Was the damage done to my generation by phones wasn't enough? All the pain and suffering hasn't taught you anything? But I'm definitely wrong that you are not learning from your mistakes, because you'll definitely start teaching us about AI in just a moment, am I right? But it doesn't look like that, because from now on, you're not only not teaching us about AI, but you're also prohibiting us from using the most important tool of tomorrow. And look, even in the Middle Ages, people were taught how to use an axe because nobody wanted a carpenter to cut off his own hand. Isn't that logical? But knowing how to use technology isn't enough in the world of tomorrow, of constant changes. There are a few skills that are really important to achieve our goals and fulfill our dreams.
With Mateo, we started asking ourselves what kind of the skills will be the most important skills for the future. And after some weeks, we come to the conclusion and we decide that it will be 15 different kinds of the skills which can be useful for us and for our kids. And we decide to ask few of our friends, the millionaires, the artists, the entrepreneurs, the most successful people which we know, which we have around us. And what they said for us, it was very interesting, because we asked them, what's 5 skills, according to you, 5 or 6 are most important skills for you, and which of these skills will be the most important for future generation? And we asked them, apart of this, which of these skills you learn at school? And what they said was really, really interesting for us, because most of them say that adoption to the changing condition is one of the most important things. I'm not surprised in the world full of black swans, will be less white swans than the black swans, and changing will be all the time. Adaptation to the new situation is very, very important. The second one, the teamwork. Teamwork, it's mean ability to work with another human being, not with the screen of telephone or not with the screen of the computer. The third, creativity. Of course, it's very important. Creativity is thinking outside of box. Creativity is knowing how to find connection between the dots. The next one, it's a skill transfer. This is very important. The skill transfer, it's mean how to move one skill from one word and use it in another word. And in the end, they said learning skills, of course, in the future world, that everything will be changing. One of the most important skills will be learning, unlearning, and relearning, because we'll have no time to sitting on the university for 5-10 years. We have to know how to learn immediately when something new happens. And on the end, they said logical thinking. Of course, it's normal. In the world of algorithms, without logical thinking, we have no chance to survive. And of course, I have one bad information for our education system. Only 1/4 of the skills these people learn at school.
We also asked nearly 250 children from a couple of different countries, and the answers were interesting and a little bit terrifying, because the difference between answers of children and people that achieved everything that they could in life showed the big lack in our education. One of those skills that I think it's really important is learning from mistakes, because it doesn't seem like you can learn from your mistakes, from the history that you wrote. And it looks like we are better at the thing that you're teaching us than you. Another thing is emotional control. And it's also really interesting that We think that our emotions are much more important and understanding them and knowing how to control them than you. Because nobody will have a problem to adult when he will be sad because of something. But we are getting punished for it. But both people of great success and children said that they hadn't learned practically anything from school. And why is that? In school, we are learning logic, it's just math, asking questions on Polish, creativity on art, and learning from our mistakes on history. But school isn't teaching us how to transfer those skills, how to think logically outside of the math classroom. And you really think that transferring skills isn't important? And it's that hard to teach? It isn't. Look, I have been a scuba diver for the past couple of years, and every time you dive, you're at the depth of 20, 30 meters. You have to be extremely calm. Your decisions have to be completely rational. Because even the slightest mistakes, the attack of panic can lead to your death or spending the rest of your life as a vegetable. So when I started diving, every time I was diving, I was completely cautious of my surroundings. Even when I was scared inside, I was panicking because I knew that if I start breathing incorrectly or I will do something stupid, I can die. My decisions weren't changed because I was just scared. No, they were completely rational, but in my day-to-day life, it was completely different. Every time I was giving a speech, even in class, I was writing an exam, I was extremely scared. My emotions were taking over and I was a slave of them. My hands were shaky and sweaty. I couldn't think straight, but then I thought to myself why I can completely focus on everything and control my emotions while I can die, but I cannot control them while I can get a bad grade. I realized that I have to transfer the same skills that I used while scuba diving to my day-to-day life. And from then on, every time I had a stressful situation, was it an exam, giving a speech, or my dad doing something really stupid to himself, which happens too often, I was completely calm and I was imagining that I'm on like 20, 30 meters. And to be completely honest, between you and me, right now I'm at 35, 40 meters. And it's just peace. So why, when you're smarter, more experienced than us, and older, at least that's what you say, obviously we can't argue with the last one, why can't you teach us how to transfer skills? Why school isn't teaching us how to think logically in life and not only with numbers, how to write prompts the same way we ask about poems, how to think out of the box while not painting a painting, how to learn from our mistakes when not reading about some king in the 12th century. Do you really think that it isn't important? And look, I'm not trying to change a school education system because it just won't work. With the exponential growth, nor school system, nor education system, or even laws will never keep up. But everyone knows that Rome wasn't built in a day. We won't change education system in a year. But in just a few hours, we can change what we teach our children, how we teach them, and why. So again, I'm not asking you to change school. I'm asking you to change yourself with the things that you already have, with the skills and the knowledge that you already have, but smarter, and learn from your mistakes. And who thinks that those skills are important? Raise your hand. Thank you. Who thinks that there aren't? Okay, so to those who think that those skills are important, what are you doing with this knowledge? Are you developing those important skills yourself? Are you teaching them your kids? And will you? Thank you.
Thank you.